Stasi police in East Germany was probably the origin of gang stalking on Earth. Um, the reason I think that is, I'll introduce what this is. They had a technique called Zertsung, and I'll just read a bit about that. What it says: the Stasi perfected the technique of psychological harassment of perceived enemies, known as Zertsung, a term borrowed from chemistry, which literally means corrosion or undermining. By the 1970s, the Stasi had decided that methods of overt persecution, which had been employed up to that time, such as arrest and torture, were too crude and obvious. It was realized that psychological harassment was far less likely to be recognized for what it was, so its victims and their supporters were less likely to be provoked into active resistance, given that they would often not be aware of the source of their problems or even its exact nature. Zertsung was designed to sidetrack and switch off perceived enemies so that they would lose the will to continue any inappropriate activities. This is exactly what I'm seeing around me in the gang stalking behavior. They completely, nobody knows where it's coming from. Nobody knows who to point a finger at. Nobody knows anything. Everybody just follows along because they're afraid of being targeted. And there's no reason. There's no like racism, anything like that. There's no agenda behind it. The whole agenda is to just manage to say resistance is futile. Resistance is futile. Resistance is futile. Resistance is futile. Government, government, government. Obey the government. Just do what you're told. Just do what you're told. Just do what you're told. This is gang stalking. There's no other thing they're trying to say with gang stalking. Now, you got to think, where did communism come from? Karl Marx. Marx was the German currency at the time, and Karl Marx first published the Communist Manifesto in German. At the exact same time that Darwin published the Origin of the Species, by the way, and homosexuality became a term exact same time in Germany by a guy named Karl Heinrich Ulrichs, another Karl with a K. Weird, eh? But anyways, everything came from Germany. It was like Germany was a door it came through. So we gotta look at where it came through. It wasn't from Earth. It was from extraterrestrials, demons, whatever. But we should look at Germany because that's where it came through. And the reason why gang stalking is so connected to the Catholic, to Italy, and the mafia and the Catholic Church, is because they have extremely close connections with Germany. Catholic Church and Germany have. I go into that in other videos, but anyways, I'm just going to keep reading here. Tactics employed under Zertsung generally involved the disruption of the victim's private or family life. This often included breaking into homes and messing with contents, moving furniture, altering the timing of an alarm, removing pictures from walls, or replacing one variety of tea with another. Other practices included smear campaigns, which is very much what I'm going through, denunciation, provocation, psychological warfare, psychological subversion, wiretapping, bugging, mysterious phone calls, unnecessary deliveries, even including sending a vibrator to a target's wife. Usually victims had no idea the Stasi were responsible. Many thought they were losing their minds, and mental breakdowns and suicide could result. This is a lot of people. They say, oh yeah, people being gang stalked always commit suicide. I mean, you're just targeted by everyone around you to the point of absolute bullying. Everyone's bullying you, and then they just kill themselves. It takes a lot of effort not to kill yourself sometimes, because if everyone in your environment that you ever cared about all of a sudden is just adopting this gang stalking technique, and they've turned into these demon-like bullies. It's hard. It's hard to go through that. It's really hard. And yeah, there's a lot of people saying, yeah, there's a lot of people committing suicide who are targeted by gang stalking. And if not, they're labeled insane. You say, oh, people are following me around, right? You're labeled insane, but they are following you around. They are harassing you. And it's actually the people following you around that are insane, because stalking is psychotic, right? But we seem to have forgotten that as a society because everybody's been brainwashed into thinking it's okay. Anyways, one great advantage of the harassment perpetrated by Zertsung was that its subtle nature meant that it was able to be denied. Yeah, everybody just says, "What are you talking about? You're crazy. People aren't following you around." Right? It was meant to. It's designed to be hidden, but there, and everybody knows it's there, but there, it's to be denied always. That was important given that the GDR was trying to improve its international standing during the 1970s and 80s. Zertsung techniques have since been adopted by other security agencies, particularly the Russian Federal Security Service. Okay, and yeah, there's a huge connection between Russia and Germany. I mean, it used to be called Prussia, and that was basically Russia and Germany. That was a long time ago. And then Stalin and Hitler, they made a pact. They divvied up Europe, and then Stalin said, "Oh yeah, we caught Hitler," and then a month later said, "No, we never got him." You know, but they were working together all along during World War II. I mean, World War II was a false flag. East Germany, West Germany, divided by a 96-mile wall. 96 miles is the opposite of 69, 96, right? It's all shenanigans. Like the U.S. uses metric, or uses imperial. So does North Korea. The U.S. trained Mao Zedong. Yale is a U.S. institution. It was Yale in China that trained Mao Zedong. The free world trained Mao. It doesn't make sense, right? They say, oh, Germany's the rightist. You got to fight against Germany. They're the right. No, they created the left. Karl Marx first published in German. You know what I mean? Hitler was a National Socialist Party. That was the name of his party, was the Socialist Party. It was Germany's leftist party. Anyways, everything's twisted upside down. Nothing makes sense. And this is the same way with gang stalking. Nothing makes sense. Everybody's just, there's no message. If there's any message, it's just to be the opposite of the last thing they said. Just to mess with your head, just to confuse you. The only message is, we're going to say the opposite thing we said yesterday. That's the whole message. The actual message is resistance is futile. Resistance is futile. Resistance is futile every day. Resistance is futile. But anyways, I won't go into it, but I really think this came from, not from humans even, not even from Germans. It was from extraterrestrials and demons. I challenge anyone to go and research a whole bunch of what people said about their alien abduction scenarios. They all say the same thing. Read them, listen to them on YouTube, whatever. They all say the same thing. There's one type of humanoid, along with the alien greys, the reptilians, insectoids, whatever. One type of human. White with blonde hair. Now, they're usually taller than normal humans, or they're a bit different. They're not quite like humans. So I don't actually think it came from humans. But definitely, communism, gang stalking is an extraterrestrial phenomenon. It is the way they live in that's where we got our technology from. That's why every government official in the world drives a German car. That's why every police force uses Volkswagen or Ford, because Henry Ford was a Nazi. He got medals from the Nazis and whatever, and he was a Nazi supporter before Hitler was. Anyways, I'm just saying that it was an extraterrestrial thing, and gang stalking is definitely not a normal human behavior. It is just absolutely demonic. Freemasonry, I mean, every city has a Freemason lodge. It's all controlled through that. This goes to the extraterrestrial thing. If you look, Freemasonry is the core of Freemasonry is the Book of Enoch, which is the demons that fell from heaven, the angels that fell from that were cast down from heaven and became demons and mated with the daughters of men. That Enoch was defending them in the Book of Enoch. And the Enochian keys, or the 19 Enochian keys, are what make up the Satanic Bible. Now, that's where it's demon. I think demons and extraterrestrials are usually quite a bit the same thing. I mean, Lucifer was a snake, and then there's reptilian aliens. I mean, it seems very similar. Anyways, definitely Freemasonry is not a good institution. It is not Jewish. It is not Christian. It is not anything. It is just demonic. It is absolutely demonic, and it's about mixing the races because the angels mated with the daughters of men and created the Rh negative bloodline or whatever, and it's absolutely about mixing the races. It's absolutely about controlling humanity through centralized control and whatever, and any kind of deception necessary. And yeah, people have to get their heads around that it's not about that. It's absolutely anti-religious. It's absolutely pro messes with your head, like Darwinism. Oh yeah, we evolved from apes, but there's no evidence for it, but it makes sense. But there's not a shred of evidence anywhere in the whole world that we evolved from apes. And still we're teaching it in every university in the world. Every place in the world. And you're fired if you don't teach it. And yet there's not a shred of evidence for it. Who would want that? Well, animals. I mean, reptilians, right? Or whatever, that are trying to genetically modify humans or whatever. Anyways, this is what gang stalking is. I'm just talking where it's coming from. It's coming from the Alps, but essentially it's coming from other dimensions. And I think it's important to know the origins of gang stalking in order to know how to deal with it now and in the future. This is just something I put in here. Like freedom, I'm an anarchist. If you go to any anarchist book fairs, I've been to a lot of them, and they're all just garbage. They're all just government agents pretending to be anarchists and actually saying they're pro-government. Like socialism, communism is all like, oh yeah, it's a revolution and we're anarchist, whatever, something, But it's actually saying more government, right? It twisted it around. It's just like saying Germany is the right when they created the left, Anarchist book fairs are usually just complete BS. Nothing good in them. Real anarchism is just freedom. That's what capitalism is. Letting the gods and Buddhas decide who's going to have money. It's freedom. It's saying let go and let God. That's basically what anarchism is. Anarchism is. Just let go and let God. Let go and let God and Buddhas do this instead of us trying to control everything. Communism is the opposite. It's saying we control everything. Fight with heaven and earth. That's actually the slogan. Fight with heaven and earth. Anarchism is relax. Be free. Just let things happen naturally and let the gods and Buddhas decide who should be where instead of trying to control everything. Anyways, these are just some pictures. I was trying to print my resume the other day because I was trying to find another job, and I was gang stalked so much that I couldn't even print it. And then there were so many reasons. My resume was all messing up, and the printers were messing up, and I was followed around by cops, and there was so many people trying to get on the computers that I couldn't get on there, which is really abnormal. But yeah, they really, really try to control how much money you make. They don't let you make money. That's all about controlling the money. is what communism is: centralized control, money, and control of everything, but especially money, because that's how you live. You got to buy food, you got to buy whatever, you got to pay rent, live somewhere, otherwise you're on the street. And yeah, so this is them. This is a bunch of gang stalkers promoting what I'm absolutely certain is an extraterrestrial agenda. These guys are helping them. They are helping these damned reptilian, alien, Nordic, whatever, aliens that are trying to control the Earth. The jerks. Wake up, people. Come on. Stop trying to get a safe life for yourselves by going along with the gang stalking agenda. Because you're only making a prison for yourself. More of a prison for yourself, too. You're making a prison for me, yeah, sure, but you have to live in it, too,